Hello and welcome to tutorial 33. I'm going to be showing you how I've recreated that sound from Sledgehammer, which was originally done probably on a Fairlight sampler of a shakuhachi player, and the shakuhachi is a Japanese bamboo flute which is tuned to a pentatonic scale. On Sledgehammer it turned out to be in E flat, like that. But let's have a look at how I've created that sound. So on oscillator 1 we've got, first of all we'll put that to an initial setting. Here we are. Oscillator 1 is going to be a pulse waveform, pulse width 51. So kind of square, but just a tiny bit off square. And that's on an 8-foot pitch. And because of the nature of the shakuhachi, we need to have oscillator 2 on a higher pitch, 4-foot pitch, and that's also going to be on a pulse waveform. And now I'm going to put the pulse wave in at 63. So a brighter sound on that. We're actually going to back off the volume of that higher pitch to 94. Now it still sounds rather buzzy, but we're also going to include some white noise in that, and this is at a volume of 55. So a little bit of white noise to create the breathy sound. We're also going to set up our modulation section on the LFO. So LFO 1 is going to be on a sine wave, and we'll assign that to the volume of the oscillators. So LFO 1, speed 48. Won't really hear much at the moment. Speed 48, there we are, and depth 43. Now that's rather pronounced at the moment, but by the time we've filtered a little bit of that off, it's going to sound okay. Also LFO 2, we want a sine wave assigned to oscillators 1 and 2, and this time on a speed of 48, we're going to get it to alter the pitch. And so it's varying in pitch a little bit as well. And now over to the filter section. We're going to use a bandpass filter and a 12 dB slope, and let's hear what the bandpass filter sounds like. Cut off 56. There we are. Okay, that's quite mellow at the moment, but key track is 73. And we're going to add a slight amount of the filter envelope in here, so +7. Attack time 53. That's it. So it gives a little wow to the sound. Decay 50. Sustain 0. Release 41. Okay, and we need to alter the amplifier envelope there. Attack time 44. So we're getting a slight fading to the sound, and release time 38. Now we want to create a bit of ambience to the sound with reverb. Reverb time 73. There we are, and level 33. Now all of the sounds in this tutorial have been requests by viewers and subscribers, and I'm trying to get through the long list as best I can, but we're going to be looking at 2 sounds from Journey's track Separate Ways. The first is the intro sound, which goes like this. And the next sound would be the sort of brassy sound, which appears here. 5, 3, 2. Oh no, that can't be it, can it? 5, 2, 2. There we are. And this is like just a pad sound. But back to the introduction sound, which I've called Journey Pluck, which is the intro sound. And we're going to go to the initial setting and set up that sound. So oscillator 1 is on an 8-foot pitch, and it's on a pulse wave, pulse width 70. So quite a reedy sound there. We're also going to do exactly the same with oscillator 2 on pulse width 70, and put a bit of detune in there. This helps richen the sound somewhat. So detune -6 on that one. And then looking at the filter, this sound incidentally was probably done on a Roland Jupiter 8, although a lot of American bands used to have the big Oberheim synths, but I think this was on a Jupiter 8. And let's have a look at the filter setting here. Low pass filter, 12 dB per octave, and we've got a cutoff of 51. Now that might seem fairly extreme, so let's get it exactly on 51, but we're also going to introduce some filter envelope amount in there. Okay, so key track 104. There we are, and envelope amount 63 all the way up. And already you can hear that percussive sound there, so we just need to tweak the filter envelope a little bit. Decay 68. There we are. And sustain 24. And release 81. And we'll do a similar kind of thing to the amplifier envelope, so attack 0. The sustain, because it's all the way around to 127, then the decay doesn't even feature into that. Except the sustain isn't 127, it's 65. So put that 65, decay 44. So that's emphasizing the percussive effect of the filter. Also, to emphasize the percussive effects, we're going to introduce a short delay, and the delay time is 34. So very short delay there. Da-da-da-da. And the level of that is 22. And that's our intro sound. Ah, is it? We need to have some release time on there though, don't we? Let's have a look at the release is 74. There we are. And after about 15 seconds into the introduction, the keyboard player plays a brassy sort of sound, something like this. And again, that was probably a Jupiter 8. So we'll set that sound up. The initial setting there, beep, 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 right, 8-foot sawtooth waveform. In fact, this is going to be our classic sawtooth waveform, 8-foot on all 3 oscillators. Put all 3 oscillators in and then slightly detune them. This is very reminiscent of the super saw sound that we created in tutorial number 2. So very rich sound there. We're also going to introduce the brassy sort of sound with the filter. So filter is a low pass filter at 24 dB slope, which is the equivalent of a 4-pole filter. Cutoff 41. The sound all but disappears. but of course we need to put some filter envelope in there, and that's 33. Sounding very percussive at the moment, but we need to complete the filter with adding some resonance. Resonance 18. There we are. Key track 82. Okay, this is crucial in these settings now to create that brassy sort of sound. Attack 31. That's it. And the decay is 76. Now it still sounds fairly percussive, but we're also going to do something with the amplifier envelope. Sustain 0, release 59. And the amplifier envelope, attack 54. So this gives us our kind of fade-in sound, and release 56. So the sound is completed just with a bit of reverb, and reverb time 66. There we are, and level 64. So there's our brassy kind of sound. And that concludes tutorial 33.